Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So, the Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic. Now, I've had the pleasure of hosting the Critical Drinker on this very podcast, and I think what he has to say in regards to a lot of the movies that are being produced and released in our world today is quite accurate. I think he's a very good critic. One of the critics, the very few critics, I should add, that I actually trust. If I want to go and watch a movie nowadays in the cinemas, which is quite rare, in fact, I will wait for the Critical Drinker's review most of the time. If I want to go see it and the Critical Drinker hasn't made a video, then by all means, I won't wait on the Critical Drinker's review. I'll just go and see it myself. Now, when I saw the trailer for The Acolyte, I immediately went, hell no, I'm not going to be watching this piece of crap. And I'm glad that I haven't even bothered to watch even the first couple of minutes. I've seen enough. I don't need to watch anymore. I've seen some of the interviews to make a pretty good determination of, well, this is a poorly written show. The Critical Drinker has given some analysis as to why it's a poorly reviewed show. It's quite predictable. There's a lot of flaws in, well, the entire story. Doesn't really make too much sense. And, well, you've got the radical gender ideology messaging all throughout it. And according to one interviewer, it is the gayest Star Wars ever to be produced. And I also say this, it is the worst Star Wars film, coming close to The Last Jedi, which was a poorly produced movie, if you ask me. It doesn't work. And a lot of the audience actually agree. They don't like it, and they're actually showing Lucasfilm and Disney what for. But no, Disney and Lucasfilm are going to say that it is the fault of the homophobic, transphobic, and bigoted fans. It's all male. They're all males. And so as a result, it's the fault of the patriarchy that The Acolyte is a terrible show, poorly written. But more than that, get this. And this is the reason why I'm making this video, because I don't think the Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic need defending whatsoever. But what I do care about the most is when lies are spread on the internet and, well, the radical left do what the radical left do. Very well, I might add, is it's okay for the radical left to accuse people of certain things and they get away with it. But no, when we do it, it's not okay. We get sued into oblivion or we get cancelled. Now, the Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic have done several reviews of, well, the first three, I believe, soon to be 4 episodes if they want to do the 4th episode, which came out yesterday. And they've been highly critical of the material. It's rubbish. It's garbage. But they're being accused of spreading hatred and bigotry and spreading violence with their words over their reviews for this poorly made show by Lucasfilm and Disney. Imagine that, right? You can't even do a movie review because if the movie actually does really bad, you're going to blame the reviewers for as to some of the reasons why audience members don't like it themselves. They aren't smart enough to make up their own bloody minds. That's according to these people. Now, Looper, which is a very big YouTube channel, decided that they wanted to accuse the Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic of encouraging hatred and bigotry with their reviews of a poorly written streaming show. Have a watch of what Looper had to say, and they've since deleted it, amazingly. Gee, I wonder why.
Some audience members have issues with the show's diversity and LGBTQ+ themes, and those should be dismissed. However, viewers should genuinely examine the legitimate criticisms the Acolyte has received. Cultural critics like The Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic have dubbed the show lore-breaking for its recent revelations, but their commentary isn't productive. Rather, it encourages bigotry and hatred over a show that's just getting started. As always, rage bait and review bombings distract from actual criticism. In particular, Episode 3 has proven to be controversial, and perhaps rightfully so.
Some audience members have issues with the show's diversity and LGBT themes. And obviously, Looper goes, those should be dismissed. They don't mean anything in the entire context of the show. They don't mean jack. So the hugely cringy scene, the power of one, the power of two, the power of many, and saying that the Force is a thread, not a, living thing that guides everybody. No, the Force is now a thread, and we can tell the thread, according to these witches, what to do. And then one witch goes, I created humans using the Force. Wow. That's very interesting. Didn't know you could do that, but the entire lore and the entire meaning behind the Force was just done away with. Why would George Lucas care? The guy's a multi-billionaire, so don't think he cares anymore. But all these LGBT, the message themes, they should be dismissed. They mean absolutely nothing in the context relevance of the film or the show. I'm sorry, but it actually does, because I don't want any of this nonsense thrust in my face when I'm watching a Star Wars movie. Thank you very much. The commentary isn't productive. Why isn't it productive? Because they say, Looper, rather it encourages bigotry and hatred over a show that's just getting started. Let me just say this. If you're Disney or Lucasfilm, a multi-billion-dollar company, and you're producing total garbage like this, it's not the Critical Drinker or Nerdrotic's fault if you guys produce woke garbage. All they're doing is being critical of your woke garbage. You're the ones that produced it, so therefore you make your bed, you lie in it. But, oh no, the Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic aren't on the side of woke Disney. No, they've happened to take a different stance. We can't have that. We can't allow that. It's unproductive. They're spreading hatred and bigotry. All I've seen is Disney and Lucasfilm spread a lot of that. Same with Looper. As always, rage bait and review bombing. Distract from actual criticism. Well, I hate to break it to you, Looper, but everything that the Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic have said about the show is quite accurate, because even the ones that don't watch Nerdrotic or the Critical Drinker have had a lot to say online. I mean, a lot to say. All the reviews, and counting out some of the very small little minority group that happens to be part of the LGBT whatever, get this, no one likes it. They don't like it. They can tell for themselves. They're smart enough if they want to sit through all that woke garbage. But nah, Looper, the ones that are paid off, those critics, those are the ones you should listen to. They're culturally productive, but Nerdrotic and the Critical Drinker, they're culturally unproductive because they're spreading hate and bigotry and all that other stuff. I don't know about you, but if you're going to accuse two very well-known movie reviewers and critics of something that isn't actually true, you better actually have some proper evidence and proper facts to back up your claims. Otherwise, it's defamation, and you are liable for a lawsuit. It's okay for the radical left to attack people that have common sense and decency and good character, but if we share the truth and open people's eyes, no, you can't have that. It's not allowed. Lupo has since deleted the post. I wonder why they did that. Could it be that Lupo's legal team goes, "You're opening us up for a lawsuit. Get rid of it quickly." Not before. Nerdrotic got a hold of it. Now, where is the Acolyte sitting at the moment in terms of the audience score? You may ask. It is dropping every single day. Nerdrotic, about I screenshotted this at 9:18, and at that point it was about 8 hours ago. Good morning. Hashtag Acolyte. Tomatometer, 84%. The average audience score, 14%. It's dropping quite dramatically. Now, here's something else for you all. The Critical Drinker put up on his Twitter feed. So if you want to work for the BBC now, get this. Assistant producer, classical music, BBC Audio, North Extended, whatever. The role is advertised as part of our BBC extended program for disabled people. To apply, you should identify as dead, disabled, or neurodivergent. The Critical Drinker goes, nice to see that being alive is no longer a requirement to work for the BBC. Explains a lot, actually. Yes, because a lot of the content that is produced by the BBC is garbage. Not entertaining, it's garbage with a certain political leaning. And the Critical Drinker also goes on Twitter about a day ago, if Star Wars fans are the problem, then the Acolyte is definitely a solution. Because as we know, the radical left loves to blame the fans. They're going to double down on the absolute piece of crap they produced and blame the fans. Always the fans' fault. If they're not happy, then, well, tough luck. Tough titties, you know? They spent millions of dollars on a show that no one wants to watch. No one cares about. Yet they're paying the price. But no, it's the fans' fault. It's Nerdrotic and the Critical Drinker's fault for spreading hatred and bigotry and all that sort of stuff. They're like a bunch of 2-year-olds, aren't they? He said, she said, accuse you. Sick of it. I'm sick of it, man. Anyway, good on you, Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker. You guys are awesome. Anyway, take care, everyone. Be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.